Hey folks, today is the day. We actually launch today the Pascal and Sas Show. Launch. See, first disagreement. This video, by the way, is about disagreement. We talk about, she's correcting. We talk about how do you deal disagreement or with disagreement in a relationship, for example. Not just in business. I know a lot of you guys are entrepreneurs. But how do you deal with disagreement in relationships? And that's something we rarely have. Sometimes we do, right, Dr. Sas?
Sometimes we do. I mean, it in various subject, right? Yes, but not that many. Mostly because I think it's about kids. Mostly about my kids or your kids. I'm tend to be softer and less strict, and we disagree on that on many occasions, but we always come to an agreement somehow.
Yeah, the thing, and I'm sure many of you guys relate to that, especially if you're parents. I think the key for me is to really try to understand your point of view, to try to understand not just the situation, but to really understand you and to listen. I think that's one of the keys to also listen, not just to... Many of us are like, we have a perception based on our experience from the past. I talk about this kind of stuff a lot. But that doesn't have to be right. And if it is not about me and how I see things, but about us and how we see things, we need to be able to listen and talk and try to put ourselves in the other person. What if that person is right? And I'm pretty good at that, right?
He came a long way. I think both of us did. Really. And like 10 years ago, 13 years ago,
Don't say
it. it was a work in progress, and until now, I think we kind of got it because we listen, like Pascal said, and with an open mind, and we allow other person to talk and explain how they see it from their perspective in life. For me, I grew up with a very loving, soft family, and my mom never spanked us. She never yelled at us. So it was very soft, very gentle. And for me to set the consequences, it was a little bit difficult. Also, how I grew up, we grew up in Thailand. We didn't move to the U.S. until I was 12. So growing up in a third world country with, my parents didn't make that much. So we didn't have any toys or stuff like that. And for me, I just want my kids to have everything, to have all the experience in the world. I want to give. And I want to help, right? And now I realize that giving and helping is not necessarily mean helping. So to listen from his perspective, and come to kind of a middle ground and agree, okay, maybe this is what we'll do, but not dismiss his decision completely. I
to
think
be stubborn, right? You, am I right? You are right. I am right. You are right. In your we don't have that anymore.
Right.
We have tendencies, and for me, especially if it comes to kids, I think our society, our generation, are weak as sorry for the effort, but I mean it. These people, like, look at how society works today. They are even too lazy to work. They stay at home. Like everywhere, like so many places that we go, they say shortage of staff. Like people are too lazy to work because the government finances it to them. But that's a different topic. It's about company culture, in my opinion. But why are people too lazy to go and work? This is today's generation. They don't have what it takes, what they need in order to, the self-responsibility to really get up in the morning, do their stuff. A yes is a yes. Like when I grow up and I said something, I will do that. I did it. I respected what I promised. Mm-hmm. I respected the people that I promised it to. And today's generation, they just say yes to everything and don't do most of it. And I just don't like that. And for me, that needs consequences. Years ago, it was punishment. Today, it's consequences. We cannot just take it the way they think it's right. We need to correct them. So it's not them, it's us. We need to take the lead. And what does that mean? It's not to say yes to everything and to be nice to them and give them what they want. Yes, you can have a lot of things that you want, but deserve it. First serve and then you deserve it. And most of the parents out there, I mean, you know that from work and from so many places, right? When we have this kind of discussion, give them the phone, give them a laptop, give them what they want so they're happy and quiet. No, you weaken them. Down the road, this is exactly the wrong thing to do. We need to have boundaries, we need to have clear rules, we need to have a structure, and we need to teach them how to actually be accountable and take this stuff serious, because this is not just about life, it's about how society works together, how they respect each other. It's about the future of the freaking planet, and we can do a lot if we take that serious and talk about it and work something out together.
True. And the subject today is about disagreement, right? And we know we disagree on that subject of kids, how to discipline them in many ways. But we grew to understand each other and to learn to communicate, and I think that's the most important thing, is to first respect the other person's point of view. Don't say, I mean, we don't try to be right. We always stop and say, I mean, you always say, this is how I see it. How do you see it? And I think that's very important.
It's care, right? I care about, and you too. You care about how I see it, and you really try to understand it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's in all the stuff that we disagree on. We don't argue. We don't fight. We just have a discussion, and sometimes after a discussion, then your point of view kind of change because you see the other side, right?
It's understanding. And the only way to get to that understanding is to discuss, right? Listen and discuss.
Respect, listen, communicate, and then come to an agreement and
put your ego aside.
Definitely. Right. This is the hardest thing, I think, for both of us.
Not just for men, not just for you guys.
For both of us. In the beginning, when we first come together, it was like, I'm right, I'm always right. And, I'm like, women empowerment, right? And women have the last word. And it is not that. In order for you to win, you both have to win. It's not.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's not like winning usually for the individual is I won, right? Like
I won.
I got it my way.
Yeah.
And that's a loss. It need to be in a relationship. It need to be about both.
About win-win.
Right. Yeah. It's a win-win. We need to both be at a point where we are happy with the solution, And sometimes it means that both of us make one step toward each other. It brings you closer to each other. So same thing in business, in life in general. If you have a business problem, a challenge, the only way to fix it is to take a clear look at it, at the situation, maybe ask a third party to have a completely different perspective, and to have a discussion, to understand, to listen. Maybe it's the customer demand that shifts. Maybe the goal, we are off track. If we look at the vision and all that stuff that we do in business matters so much in life, right? We talk about what is our life mission, what is our health vision, what is our vision for so many things, wealth, relationships, and all that stuff. And if we don't discuss and know that from each other, we just have a hard time.
I think your career goal and your life goal and your goal as a couple, as a family, kind of intertwine. And if you don't communicate in all the areas of life,
and very honest,
and be very brutally honest with each other,
because your life is about what you truly want from within your heart. Your life is what you truly want from within your heart in different areas of life. And to suffer to please the partner is a lie, and that it's not going to end good. So we are brutally honest to what we want, and then we see how can we make it happen together.
Right. You don't please each other in a way that to appease. You please each other in a way that you understand. Okay, I understand this is where you're going, this is where I'm going, and this is where we're gonna meet, and we just
give each other space.
Right.
Yeah.
And if my life vision means I want to go visit my family, once, twice a month, and I communicate that with him, and he go, oh yeah, sure, that's fine. And if we don't communicate that, and
by the way, I'm not the family guy.
He's not the family
and
guy.
I'm not doing that to please her. Do I? Maybe a little bit.
I
mean, I like it. I like your family. I like to do stuff with you, and I'm just happy when you're happy. So I take myself in this kind of a situation. I take myself out of it, and I say, okay, just let's have a good time with my wife. Enjoy her being happy with her family. I like all the family members that we spend time with, and so that's a step from me toward you. And the other way around too, right? I have stuff that you just say, okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
just
right.
go for it.
When he frustrated with a project he's working on, for example, and I'm in the middle of working, and I'm like, in the flow, and he's like, oh, let's go. I can't do anymore. I just want to go and do nothing. And of course, it's nicer if I go with him. So it's a give and take. Yeah. And I go, okay, I can take care of this tomorrow, and let's go. And for me too, let's go have a nice time together. And it's okay.
It's okay. Yeah. Now, to bring this to, we don't want to make this too long for you guys, but disagreement. How would you, like, if you make a quick summary, what are the most important points, like let's say the 3 most important points for you if it comes to disagreements in relationships?
First is respect each other and respect each other's point of view. Second is listen. You don't have to have the last word. You don't have to be right, because nobody's right. He's right in his mind, and I'm right in my mind, in my point of view. So respect, listen, communicate.
Nice.
That's the three things that's for
Yeah.
me is very important.
For me too, if it comes, my summary would be disagreements in general are not necessary. It's on you. And put aside your ego. It's not about you and what you think is right. It's about both of you finding a solution. So put the ego aside, number one. Second, for me also definitely respect each other and listen. Try to truly understand your partner. That opens doors. And number three, be yourself and stick to your truth. It is not wrong. And to have the fear that your partner may don't like you, then you have a serious problem with relationships in general. If you have to change who you are in order to please your partner, that's a different discussion that you should have with yourself. So if you cannot stick to the truth and learn how to express yourself in a way that your partner listens and respects you to discuss whatever is bothering any of you guys, it's all said.
I think we got it.
We got it. So thank you for listening. Stick with us if you like this kind of conversations, communications, discussions about all these kind of topics. There's a lot more to come. Subscribe to our channel, and we see you guys soon again.
And thumbs up, right?
Peace out.